Okay, for this practice, we're going to use these materials. The idea is that we're gonna make this buzzer sound when we change the axis, the shaft, when we rotate the shaft of the potentiometer. So we need the breadboard, the Arduino. In this case, I'm gonna use an Arduino Uno. I'm gonna use some jumpers. All of them are male. The buzzer, of course, the potentiometer, and remember that in order to use the buzzer we have to use a 100 ohms resistor, which is this one. It is brown, black, brown. Okay, to begin, as usual, I just plugged the black and red cables. Remember, the red one goes to 5 volts and the black one goes to GND. This is the last thing I'm gonna plug on the Arduino, but both components needed. So I'm gonna start with the potentiometer. I'm gonna plug it somewhere here. And remember, potentiometer requires positive in one of the sides, so I'm gonna connect it here on the positive and then to one of the sides of the potentiometer. Then it requires also negative. I'm gonna plug it in black here, from the negative here on this row to the negative of the potentiometer, which is the other side basically. And finally, it requires a signal. I'm going to use that signal with this white jumper. So it goes here in the one of the middle. And following the same scheme of the previous videos, this one goes connected to A0. So I'm gonna connect it right now. Then, to connect the buzzer. In this case, our buzzer has a positive, has a negative, and if you remember the previous video, I'm going to plug it somewhere here. The positive is this one, so I'm going to connect the buzzer here. Remember, on the positive it goes the resistor. I'm going to connect the resistor to the positive. The resistor to the positive, there we go. And this resistor goes connected to the signal that will activate the buzzer. So I'm gonna connect it somewhere else, the resistor, taka, and the signal will be this orange jumper that goes here. Following the scheme, buzzer pin is the number 12, following the previous videos. So I'm going to connect it here on the number 12. And then just missing to connect the negative, which in this case goes from the negative of the buzzer, which is this one, to the negative of the breadboard, which is the same. So positive, negative, and I just have to move the resistor one time. Here, and the resistor is not going there, it's going to here. So as you can see, in one breadboard, I just put both things. The 5 volts and the GND are shared, are the same for both. And the last thing I'm missing is to connect this one to 5 volts and this one to GND. So if we check out this, for the potentiometer we have the signal here and it is plugged to A0. For the buzzer we have the signal here in orange and it is connected to the number 12. So that's what we have to declare in the code also. Okay, and to teach you about the code, what I did is to open both of the programs that we used last time. As you can see here below, it says done uploading because I tried them on the circuit that I made. I just tried them both to make sure that they work, that everything is correctly plugged. So you should do the same. After you know that they work separately, you go and create something like this. This is a notepad that says the components that you're using, the readings of the sensor, and what do you want to do. So remember that my potentiometer can go from 0 to 1023. And the program, what I want to do is that when the angle of the potentiometer is on one side, the alarm sounds, and on the other side, it doesn't sound. It's that simple. So now I have to express all this using these numbers in a code. So I want to show you this way. I'm going to click on here to make a new file. This file, I'm gonna put it on the screen like something like this. Here. This is all the code, so everything will be here. Now, things to start. You have to declare the variables. So to declare, I'm gonna go from left to right. So I'm gonna start always with the buzzer. So what do you need to declare? Where is the buzzer connected? And it says that the buzzer pin is in number 12. So I'm gonna copy, Control C, and then Control V here, and I paste. So now I just declare my buzzer pin. Then below I'm gonna declare what I have to declare for the potentiometer. So in this case, I'm saying that the potentiometer is plugged to A0. What else do I have to declare? The reading of the potentiometer, because that's what I see on the code. So I'm just copying and pasting. So I review both of the codes. In the declare, what I have to declare for the buzzer is just the pin, one thing, and for the potentiometer, the pin and the variable. If I check my new code, I have all three things here. So now I can go to void setup. In void setup, I have to declare all the things in just one. So from left to right. What do I have to declare for my buzzer? For my buzzer, I have to say that it is an output, that it is an actuator. Nothing else on void setup. And for my potentiometer, I have to declare that it is a sensor. So I am going to declare it here, pin mode potentiometer, which is an input. And I have to declare that I will use my serial monitor, because in that way I will make sure if the potentiometer is rotating, the angle of the potentiometer is on one side or on the other. I have nothing else to declare here on the left, on the buzzer. I have nothing else to declare here on the right, on the potentiometer, so I can go to the void loop. As you see, I did not create two void setups, I just need one. But that one has to contain everything. So now I go to void loop. According to my file, it says that when the angle of the potentiometer is on one side, the alarm sounds. On the other side, the alarm doesn't sound. So I have to use an if. An if condition is a conditional. Something will happen if the condition is true or is correct. So I'm going to start with, what do I want? The first thing I need to do is to check the angle of the potentiometer. So I'm going to say, this instruction, that is the reading of the angle. So I'm gonna copy it and paste it. That's the first thing I need to do, to know the angle of the potentiometer. Now that I know the angle of the potentiometer, I can copy this new instruction, which is to show it on the serial monitor. So I have the angle of the potentiometer and I'm gonna show it on the serial monitor. What do I have to do after that? If I already know the angle, I have to start with my different conditions. So the first condition is going to be listed like this. I'm going to say if, in parentheses, I have to write the condition. What would be the difference of the condition? I'm going to say if pod reading, I'm going to say that is less than, if pod reading is less than, I don't know, 1023, I'm going to say that 510. So if my pod reading is less than 511, so that means 510 or below, then I have to use these braces. And how does it work? If this condition is true, then whatever I write here is going to happen. So what should happen? If it is on this side, I'm going to tell it that the buzzer has to sound. So I need to use all the instructions to make the buzzer sound. In this case is, I have to adapt the tone, copy and paste, and I have to turn it on. I have to say that it has to be high. So what am I doing? If the potentiometer is on this side, then with this tone, the buzzer is gonna sound. Now I need to write the other condition. If you have an if case here, you can say else. Notice how that changed the color. Else means everything else, any other condition. So else, you open and close the braces. For the else, you don't need the parentheses. So You open and close the braces, and here inside, you're gonna write whatever happens in the other condition. That means that the buzzer has to go off. In this case, I'm going to copy this because I don't need a tone, and then below, I'm gonna copy this and paste it here. Notice that I am not using any delay. Since I'm not using any delay, and remember this happens really fast because this happens in milliseconds, the Arduino will be checking all the conditions repeatedly and really fast. So how does it work? First thing that it does is to check where is the angle of the potentiometer, then it's gonna display it on the screen. It depends. If that angle is less than 511, then the buzzer sounds. If not, the Arduino will not come inside this condition. It will only go to this one, so it will remain off. In this case, I am not using any delay, but if you want to use delays, remember that you can use it here for the tone when it sounds, or here when it doesn't sound. And that's pretty much with the code. We're gonna see how it works. Okay, now I'm going to show you how it works using the serial monitor and everything. As you can see on the screen, it is done uploading, so that means that it is on the Arduino. In this moment, it's on the side that it doesn't sound, which is this one. I'm going to open the serial monitor here. And the serial monitor is displaying that I have 1023. When I start moving this, it sounds as I declared. So now that the number is 413, the number is less than 511, and since it is less than, it sounds. If you see now, the number is 0 or 1, and that's why it sounds. Every single beep that you hear is different because that's the amount of times that the Arduino reads the potentiometer, and it processes everything inside. So basically, when I change this, when I rotate the shaft of the potentiometer, I'm gonna get different results. In this moment, the number is 511. So I'm gonna try to reach a closer number. In this moment, it's 517, it doesn't sound. 15. And now that I went down, it sounds. And that's how it works. As you can see, everything is just in one breadboard, and I'm using only one Arduino. And that's pretty much it.